In the last episode, God called Abram to leave his homeland and journey to Canaan. He promised to make Abram into a great nation and to bless all peoples through him. Abram obeyed, built altars along the way, but stumbled when famine drove him to Egypt, where he deceived Pharaoh about Sarai. Humbled, he returned to Bethel and called on the Lord again. Now Abram and Lot must part ways. Both men have become wealthy. Their flocks and herds are so large that the land cannot support them together. Quarreling breaks out between their herdsmen. Abram says to Lot, "Let us not have quarreling between you and me, or between your herdsmen and mine, for we are close relatives. Is not the whole land before you? Let us part company. If you go to the left, I will go to the right. If you go to the right, I will go to the left." Lot looks up and sees the whole plain of the Jordan. It is well watered, like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt. He chooses the entire plain and moves east, pitching his tents near Sodom. The men of Sodom are wicked and sinning greatly against the Lord, but Lot does not seem to notice. He sees only the green pastures. After Lot leaves, the Lord speaks to Abram. "Look around from where you are, to the north and south, to the east and west. All the land that you see I will give to you and your offspring forever. I will make your offspring like the dust of the earth, so that if anyone could count the dust, then your offspring could be counted. Go, walk through the length and breadth of the land, for I am giving it to you." Abram moves his tents and settles near the great trees of Mamre at Hebron, where he builds another altar to the Lord. Then war comes to the region. 4 kings from the east make war against 5 kings of the plain, including the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah. The battle rages in the valley of Sodom. The kings of Sodom and Gomorrah flee, and some of their men fall into tar pits while others escape to the hills. The victorious kings seize all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their food. They also carry off Lot and his possessions, since he is living in Sodom. A man who escapes brings word to Abram the Hebrew. When Abram hears that his nephew has been captured, he calls out his trained men, 318 of them, born in his household. He pursues the kings as far as Dan. During the night, Abram divides his men and attacks. He routs the enemy and pursues them as far as Hobah, north of Damascus. He recovers all the goods, his nephew Lot, the women, and the other people. Abram returns victorious. Then war comes to the region. 4 kings from the east make war against 5 kings of the plain, including the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah. The battle rages in the valley of Sodom. The kings of Sodom and Gomorrah flee, and some of their men fall into tar pits while others escape to the hills. The victorious kings seize all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their food. They also carry off Lot and his possessions, since he is living in Sodom. A man who escapes brings word to Abram the Hebrew. When Abram hears that his nephew has been captured, he calls out his trained men, 318 of them, born in his household. He pursues the kings as far as Dan. During the night, Abram divides his men and attacks. He routs the enemy and pursues them as far as Hobah, north of Damascus. He recovers all the goods, his nephew Lot, the women, and the other people. Abram returns victorious. The king of Sodom comes out to meet him. But before the king can speak, another figure appears. Melchizedek, king of Salem, brings out bread and wine. He is priest of God Most High. He blesses Abram, saying, "Blessed be Abram by God Most High, creator of heaven and earth. And praise be to God Most High, who delivered your enemies into your hand." Then Abram gives Melchizedek 1/10 of everything. This mysterious priest-king appears without genealogy, without explanation. He blesses Abram in the name of God Most High, and Abram honors him with a tithe. It is a sacred encounter in the midst of war. The king of Sodom offers Abram all the goods, asking only for the people. But Abram refuses. "I have raised my hand to the Lord, God Most High, Creator of heaven and earth, and have taken an oath that I will accept nothing belonging to you, not even a thread or the strap of a sandal, so that you will never be able to say, 'I made Abram rich.' Abram will not be indebted to the king of a wicked city. His wealth comes from God alone." After these events, the word of the Lord comes to Abram in a vision. "Do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield, your very great reward." Abram answers, "Sovereign Lord, what can you give me since I remain childless? You have given me no children, so a servant in my household will be my heir." God responds, "This man will not be your heir. A son who is your own flesh and blood will be your heir." He takes Abram outside. "Look up at the sky and count the stars, if indeed you can count them. So shall your offspring be." Abram believes the Lord, and God credits it to him as righteousness. Then God makes a covenant. He tells Abram to bring a heifer, a goat, a ram, a dove, and a young pigeon. Abram cuts them in two and arranges the halves opposite each other. As the sun sets, a deep sleep falls on Abram, and a thick and dreadful darkness comes over him. God speaks of the future. Abram's descendants will be strangers in a country not their own. They will be enslaved and mistreated for 400 years. But God will punish that nation, and afterward they will come out with great possessions. In the 4th generation they will return to this land. When the sun has set and darkness has fallen, a smoking firepot with a blazing torch appears and passes between the pieces. On that day, the Lord makes a covenant with Abram, saying, "To your descendants I give this land, from the Wadi of Egypt to the great river, the Euphrates." The covenant is sealed, not by Abram's hand, but by God's fire. Thank you for listening to this episode about Abram and the covenant. If this retelling of Genesis chapters 14 and 15 stirred something in you, please consider subscribing and sharing this video with others. In the next episode, Sarai will take matters into her own hands. Hagar will bear a son named Ishmael, and God will promise that the long-awaited heir is still coming.